So this is garlic. All right. Now I got two different kinds here. One is the elephant garlic, and then I have a smaller, sweeter garlic over here. Now garlic will reproduce in two ways. One, you can just use the cloves, plant the little cloves, separate and plant the little cloves into the ground, and in the fall and the early spring, and you'll get garlic coming up, okay? The other way, I got a little bit of plastic in my hay. The other way is through seed, and it's pretty rare that you see garlic planted through seed anymore. There are a few heirloom varieties that will still go to seed and produce seed, but it's not entirely necessary. You can clone your garlic. If you see that you got a friend that has some garlic that wants to share or something like that, or maybe you buy it in the store or something like that and it goes to sprout. Well, yeah, you can plant and you can clone your garlic out like that just by dividing out the cloves. But there are some heirloom varieties that go to seed. And what happens now? All garlic plants will produce the seed stalks. Like this, and what happens is as the season goes on, they're going to send out these seed stalks, and it's going to make this, some of them are going to get kind of curly and they're going to intertwine, and they produce these large beautiful pom-poms on top, and you can see just starting to bloom out, and you can see the little seeds in there. But the thing is that when you're let it go and produce those big pom-poms, the pom-poms do one thing. They give you a good indication of when the garlic's ready to pick. The pom-poms grow up, they start to die back. A couple weeks later, the garlic's probably ready to pick. So you go out there on a nice dry day, you pull your garlic out of the ground, you dig your garlic up. When you dig your garlic up, you're also going to find there's other little things. They're little, I call them little baby garlics. Excuse me. I call them little baby garlics, and they are separate little cloves coming off of the main bundle, kind of wrapped up and attached. And you can plant those individually and they grow out as well. But these guys take a lot of energy away from the plant and ultimately kind of make the plant, make your garlic bulb just a little bit smaller. So we're going to actually get rid of these. And I'm gonna, y'all don't judge me, I've been in the yard all day. I ain't dressed to show off here, but we're gonna get rid of these, okay? And we're just gonna clip these right off, and that's going to allow all of that energy to go straight to the bulb, okay? So that's going to allow that energy to go straight to the bulb. There we go. And now our elephant foot garlic is going to be a little more elephant footish, I guess. Maybe one last. And the nice thing about it is it's not quite like when you're thinning seeds out. Okay, you don't feel quite so bad about it because you know you're doing something that's good for the plant. So, all right, let's see what else we got. All right, so it looks like our pickling cucumbers have all got their first little leaves on them. Okay, so we are going to go ahead, and we could give these another day, but we're not going to. We're going to go ahead and plant these out. Before we start planting these, we're going to give them a little watering. And I think with this particular, when the seeds are this young, and we're going to be dividing them out there's more than one in a tray, in a cell. So we're going to divide these up, and so it's going to be a little bit easier to work with if the soil is a little damp, or wet, or soggy. Just a little water. There we go. So here we are in the side fence of the garden. I haven't planted this fence in about 3 years, and so we had to do a little bit of work and clean this out, or a lot of work and clean this out, depending on the way you look at it. But we had the time. That's the one gift that this season, or this year, has brought us, is time. So we got this cleaned up, and I got a trench dug along here. This trench is about 3 inches deep, and my soil is nice and dry over here, so it's going to be a little bit easier to work with. I want that trench there to make it easier to water, because I only want to be watering the plants. I don't want to be watering all this stuff on the outside. I just want to be able to walk along, sprinkle a little bit of water right in that trench, and water just these guys and reduce how much I have to weed. So we're going to take these guys out of the tray. We're going to lay them along the fence, about a foot or two apart, and then we'll take our hoe, cover them up real quick, and then give them a drink of water. And by that time, it should be getting close to sundown. We're doing this in the evening, by the way. You don't want to be planting first thing in the morning. You don't want to plant, and you don't want to plant in the middle of the heat of the day. You want to do this in the evening so the plants can kind of settle in through the night. So, well, that's enough. Let's get to planting. We ran out of sunlight for shooting yesterday, but it's the middle of the day the next day. We did manage yesterday to get all the cucumbers planted, get everybody watered in for the night, and here we've come out the middle of the day the next day. We've given everybody a quick drink of water. The sun's pretty bright. It's not too hot, but it's still pretty bright out. That sun's harsh on those delicate little seedlings. So we want to make sure the next couple of days we get them a little drink in the middle of the day. We still got a lot of stuff to plant this week. We got ourselves some red bell peppers, sweet bell peppers, and I always get either the red, the yellow, or the purple because I can never tell when the green ones are ripe. I got some sweet basil. We need to get these guys in the ground. And then I went ahead and I broke down and I got some sweet potato slips. And so I know that we got some that are propagating over there in a bucket. We got a few that might be coming up over there in the garden from last year's crop, but we're gonna go ahead and stick these guys over there in the sweet potato patch and make sure we give it a good boost. But we're gonna do all that a little later this afternoon when it's not quite so warm out on these delicate little seedlings and my delicate skin. But you'll see all that next week on Too Much Garden. Until then, happy gardening, everybody.